Alright, time now is 10:39 a.m. on May 18th. May 19th. May 18th was Nick's birthday. I have to say happy birthday to him. Um, but yeah. I slept from uh 3:30 a.m. Yeah, something around that 3:30 a.m. to 10:30. Um, I'm tired, but hey, at least that's 7 hours. And we are 3 days away from confession, 5 days away from the first day of shoot. Or actually, 4 days away from confession. Yeah, 4 days away from confession, 6 days away from the shoot. So the plan for today is I'm going to visit Friday Film 32 to finalize the Friday PAs, and then at the same time I'm going to go to Encino to do the community survey, which is probably, hopefully, the last step that we'll have to do to ensure the location. Um, so that is that. Um, oh my god. So, last night at 2 a.m., I, I spoke with Benny, um, and, 2:30 a.m., by the way. And Benny was like, oh yeah, about Encino, he has received the forms and the map already. There are 12 houses. Benny thought that we need to knock on the doors of 100 houses. Turns out we only have to do 12, but that's still a lot, bro. And he wants me to go afternoon. And I'm like, I got Friday Film 32. And he's like, okay, Encino is more important. So I'm like, fine. So now the plan is at around afternoon, maybe 2 p.m. ish, I'll arrive at Friday Film 32. I'll snoop around and talk to people and get their emails and whatever, and then I'll be gone. At around 4 p.m., 4:30 p.m. ish, I'll just be gone. Um, and Benny will probably pick me up, drive me to Encino, and start doing this. Um, so that's that. So that's today. Last night I basically didn't do anything. I was still processing yesterday's madness. Yesterday's was truly one of the most stellar days of the year. Not great, not terrible. I had fun, but it was truly one of the most stellar days of the year. Truly, truly. Um, so yeah, I watched half of Where's the Friend's House, and then I just fell asleep. So I have to finish watching it. That's why I'm waking up this early. I'm gonna finish watching that film, and then I will maybe film a review, a couple review maybe, and then that's pretty much going to be it. Um, and yeah, I listened to the song Leslie recommended me, "Afraid" by The Neighborhood, which is not bad, but it's also very overdramatic and mainstream. It's like a pop rock song. And it's like, oh, okay. I mean, great taste in films doesn't mean great taste in music, but it's not terrible. Mary liked Chainsmokers. At least Leslie didn't like Chainsmokers. Fuck them. And I shared Midair Thief to her. She read it without replying, but in my heart, I know she will reply at some point, and I hope she will listen to the song. Yeah, I just want to say, like, even in WhatsApp, I and Leslie are close and we talk a lot, but like in real life, in person, it's like we're just not as close for some reason. Um, so, yeah. I also think like the way Leslie like pulled me by the waist, or actually didn't pull me by the waist, she pulled me by the shirt. I think she did that to me because she knows I like aggressive girls. And yeah. Also last night when I talked to Michelle, Michelle said, if Leslie says yes when you confess to her, I'm going to flip out. I'm going to be so surprised. And yeah, me too. But the fact that Michelle said that means that now my chances are a little higher again. Even though I look like shit. Like even in the photo, in the Instagram photo, I look awful. I look terrible. Um, but at least I got a photo, so that's cool. But yeah, I look terrible in that photo. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it for today. I'm still completely mentally prepared for Leslie to say no to me. Um, that's to be expected. And it's gonna be okay. And I'm probably not going to Castle. If Drew's so adamant about it, then okay. I mean, Jonathan, the freaking DP, won't be going because he has work. And you know, Theo's not going because he's fucking fired. And Nadim, the guy who is replacing Theo, probably won't be going because it's freaking Wednesday because it's film 32 for him. So, you know, if they need help, just saying. Yeah, there's that. If the opportunity presents itself, I would love to go to Keslow. Then in that case, why not confess to her on Wednesday night? That's so true. That's really true. Why not just confess on Wednesday, you know? Like, give me one more day. But yeah, I can't wait to have a haircut so that I would look fine all over again. In fact, tonight I'm going to shave all this so that I would look better tomorrow. Yeah, probably. All right, time now is 12:09 after midnight. So I wanted to film this way earlier, but storage issues. But now I somehow managed to clear 21 minutes from my phone, so that's pretty crazy. Okay, so let's talk about today. Today is a semi-interesting day. So from today onwards, actually ever since May has begun, every single day has been extremely eventful, insane, and crazy. And today, even though I would say today seems a lot more chill than usual, but if you throw today to last year, today would be out of the world. And if you throw today in 2020 and 2021, this day would be absolutely mind crumbling. So, anyways, Benny called me a little bit in the morning, essentially saying that he's going to go to Encino at 2 p.m. Now, I would love to join, and as location manager, it's my job. But, I have to finalize with the PAs on Friday. I have to. I freaking have to. Because today will be the last chance I have with the Friday Film 32. Yeah, and also, of course, I want to hang out there, but most importantly, I actually have to. So after finishing watching Where's the Friend's House and filming a review, I immediately left and went to CMD once again, and from about 2:30 p.m. onwards, I was there watching. And this time, Film 32 is filming at the basement of the parking lot of the car park of the parking structure instead of the fourth floor. And Cliff is the DP, which is really interesting. Cliff does seem really serious, but he's also really chill. He doesn't yell at all, and I like that it's not complicated. The lighting, it's not that complicated, but it's simple in a way where every single light is used very effectively, and it doesn't look super fancy, so much so that it's superficial. It's actually really nice and well lit. And again, like I look at people like Cliff and Leslie and how they light, and I just think like, damn, I wish I know. Because like lighting and gaffing is still the most mysterious part of filmmaking for me, and I would like to keep it mysterious for me. So there's that. Um, yeah, I was there, and at first it was a little awkward because I was afraid that Simon would be mad at me because Professor Antonio would probably tell Simon that he's no longer allowed on the set of Film 33. And then also, if Simon knows, then Simon will be mad at me. Turns out, so yeah, there's tension between me and Simon. There's a little tiny tension. But we act as if almost like nothing happened. Simon's still like, hey, Enoch, what's up? And just like ignores me sometimes from time to time. But yeah, it feels weird. There's a weird aura. But thankfully we have people like Javi and Miles and Lauren and Justin who I can just walk up and speak to. And Ariel was there right off the bat. Boom, Ariel's there. So Ariel is such a freaking model film student that she even shows up in other Film 32 classes. And Antonio saw me, Professor Antonio, and he's like, hey, Enoch, wow, you have once again infiltrated my Film 32 class. You know shit is real when a professor tells you you have once again infiltrated my class. Shit is real. And again, like I feel a little guilty because I'm supposed to be in Encino doing the survey thing. But Benny and Birkin are going there, so that's their thing right now. So at some point Carly showed up, and she came here for one reason, and that is to look for a man by the name of Declan to be PA, because it turns out Carly's best friend's boyfriend's friend also studies in the same college and is taking Film 32, or some crazy relationship like that. And turns out she came a little too late because I already got Declan on my freaking PA list. Because I just spoke to him today. So that's that. And then Carly disappeared. A little bit later, Sidlali showed up. But Sidlali had no idea that Carly previously showed up. And Sidlali came here to speak with Professor Antonio or Drew about some art department stuff, some prop stuff. And I'm just hearing them talk about the posters and the tables and the props and the dressing, the canvas, the wallpaper. And I'm just thinking, fuck, they're talking as if we for sure are getting this location. And yes, we are for sure getting this location, but like my role is really big. So there's that. But yeah, and then at around 4:15 I went up and I saw Betsy. I also saw Betsy. So when I arrived at CMD, actually there were a lot of people sitting at the benches at the entryway of CMD smoking. It's a smoke break. And literally everyone and their moms are smoking. Kiara was squatting on the ground smoking a cigarette. Cliff smoked 4 vapes at the same time and passed it on to Justin. Justin vaped and then passed it on to Hansu, the Korean guy, and he vaped. And then Harrison smoked. And then this other Ethan smoked. And then I was introduced to the other Ethan. So there are 2 Ethans, Ethan W and Ethan S. I'm not gonna say their full names, but Ethan W is the not so nice guy, and then Ethan S is really tall white guy who speaks really fast and really knows camera shit. Turns out he transferred to UCLA Film. What the fuck? So Carly wasn't the only one? He told me that he went into UCLA Film. He's transferring this summer. Holy shit, this guy's a fucking genius. And he said his critical analysis paper was Ratatouille. He said for challenge, it was the Ukrainian war and how it impacted him, which is really arbitrary, but I guess interesting perspective. And then his writing sample is also something about like war, and like destruction of war and stuff like that. So pretty wild. Like that's better than my Chinese period drama story. Yeah, essentially there's that. Yeah, fuck. But I'm also cool that USC interviewed me. Yeah. Anyways, at around 4:15, I went up to help Betsy. Betsy, Mateusz, the Polish guy, another Polish woman by the name of Laura, Diego, the other one, who is this long-haired, quiet Latino, and Felipe, who is a guy from my Photo 1 class out of all the classes. You know, during Photo 1 a couple weeks ago, I overheard him talk about, the Film Club Film Festival, and I thought, okay, he just heard about it because. Turns out, no, he's also, part of the team to organize this. I bet he's really confused, because in Photo 1 class, I'm always quiet and reserved, and I never talk. And then now, suddenly in CMD, this place is my fucking domain. Betsy knows me. Michelle knows me. Michelle shows up at around 4:30, wearing all black with sunglasses. Michelle knows me, and I walk around and people say hi to me. I'm popular here. What the fuck? So yeah, CMD is really my domain. I know every inch of it, and aside from the stupid KCRW building, but I know every inch of it, and every single spot of CMD holds a significant purpose, and holds a memory for me. It's really interesting, and I only started coming here since February last year, so sheesh. But yeah, essentially, that's that. That's become a bit of a catchphrase. I tried to help out, but I looked disheveled. When I first arrived, Cliff was like, "Wow, you look so tired. You look so stressed." And Kiara's like, "Yeah, this is what Film 33 does to a man." And then a little bit later, Ariel said I look like I'm glowing, which I'm like, really? Because Cliff said I look worse and worse, and he's like, "That's a lie." And then I told Michelle that Ariel said I'm glowing, and Michelle like, "That's a bold-faced lie. You look like shit." But yeah, and then interesting events continue occurring. First of all, the biggest truth bomb of the day is Zach texted me randomly saying, "Hey dude, the marsh shut us off, or shut us down." What? So we just lost one of the locations. I thought, and Betsy, Betsy's underestimating me. Betsy thinks I'm gonna get demoted. Betsy thinks I'm weak and not capable, both artistically and living wise, survival wise, but that's not true. I'm the fucking detective. I'm playing 3D chess. I told Betsy I got all the locations locked, and then I jinxed myself. Turns out I don't. Zach told me that the marsh shut us off, and I thought it's my fault because I didn't reply to the Park Services manager of Torrance fast enough or something like that. In fact, I resent an email to the Torrance Park Services manager today, and he immediately replied saying, "Okay, I'm transferring this email to the Madrona Marsh." Guess not, because Zach told me that the higher-ups of the Madrona Marsh told Zach that they're not happy with the content. The guy Zach previously spoke to is fine with it, but that guy isn't the higher ups. At the end of the day, the higher ups are not happy with it. So we're fucked. So I immediately like didn't know what to do. I was like, holy shit. And Michelle's like, what the fuck's going on? What the fuck's going on? And I look stressed. To be fair, I'm not that stressed. If I'm truly stressed and I'm truly panicking, I would pop off. But still, huge blow. I immediately texted Benny, immediately texted Red, and Carly showed up out of nowhere, descending from the stairs from the second floor, coming out to the main area, and I immediately told her, and she's like, oh, okay. Like, she's had enough. Yeah. So, and then I asked Zach to call me, and Zach didn't call me until about half an hour later, where I basically explained, where Zach told me about this, and I guess we're moving on to Plan B, Malaga Cove. So I told Red what's the Plan B, and Red says Malaga Cove. I told Carly, and Carly likes Malaga Cove. We're going there. And then another intriguing moment occurred. Thomas called me. Why? Thomas asked me if I'm at CMD right now. I said yes, and Thomas said he just got a new job, and because of that, he's quitting the entire shoot. So that's that. That's intriguing. I told Michelle that. Michelle's like, woo, and started clapping. And again, like that Felipe guy from Photo One, he's probably really confused because I'm so deep in the lore, like all this Film 33 stuff, all this crazy shit, all these relationships with people, whatever. And I'm also, turns out I'm the scriptwriting club vice president. He's probably like, what the fuck? This guy has so much lore and history, and like, he's so quiet about it. God damn. This guy has like layers. But yeah, it's absolutely going apeshit. So Thomas said he's gonna drive from his place to CMD just to speak with Professor Antonio face to face about this. So he eventually arrived half an hour later and told Professor Antonio. And that was when the shoot wrapped. And Cuchillo showed up out of nowhere, and Thomas spoke to them, and they didn't give any facial expressions. They didn't give any big reactions. They're just like, okay, sure, don't come. It's clearly stated in the email that if you don't want to come, don't come. So that's that. And then I and Thomas called Benny, and I also joined the call, like I was there physically. And so how is Benny and Birkin's journey at Encino today, knocking on doors and doing the survey? Not great. They asked 6 people. Out of the 11 people, they asked 6 of them, and only 2 of them signed. The other 4 either didn't want to sign, they agreed to let us film, but they didn't want to sign. One of the, there's a woman with dementia, so she can't sign, and another person said they'll sign, but later. So, yeah, that's very lame, and it's not going well. Both I and Thomas asked Benny if he wants us to go again later tonight, which is crazy, but I'm down, I guess. This is important. And he's like, you know what, let's just go another time. So that's that. Later, I saw Cuchillo. Cuchillo saw us on the call, and Cuchillo walked up to me and asked me about Friday PAs. And I said, yes, I'm working on it. Giving them Google Forms and whatever. So, that's that. And I also told Cuchillo about how we lost the marsh. And Cuchillo's like, okay. And I told him that Plan B is Malaga Cove, and Cuchillo does not like it. Cuchillo does not like it at all. And he said it doesn't even look like Mexico. We should keep looking. And we have time. So that's that. So I told Benny, I told Birkin, I told everyone, okay, Cuchillo doesn't like it. Let's keep looking. I told Red, and Red has a sense of humor. He said, well, I guess tonight is Sal Cuchillo's biggest loser. Or Sal is tonight's biggest loser, which is an Impractical Jokers reference. I told that to Michelle. Michelle didn't get it. And it's the first time Michelle didn't get an American TV show reference, and I, an international student, gets it. Um, I also seemed very stressed out when I looked at Zach's text, and Drew saw me, and Drew's like, "Is everything okay?" And I said, "Yeah, just location stuff." So that's wild. Um, so that's that. And yeah, Leslie isn't there today at all. Drew's there, but Leslie isn't there. I don't really know why. Maybe it's Leslie's day off. Maybe Leslie's off to help shoot some other stuff again for some reason. Um, yeah, a couple days ago, the college's film program Instagram, aka Crucio's Instagram, posted a story of the Indian professor and Leslie side by side, and it's their silhouette. And if it wasn't for me knowing how Leslie looks and knowing how the Indian professor looks, nobody would have noticed it's them. And man, Leslie looks so chunky and like. Anyways, I am like, so obviously Mateusz, Laura, Felipe in the room, and Betsy too. I can't talk about personal shit with Michelle. So whenever they leave, I and Michelle would stay, and we would talk about like my love life now and how I'm so conflicted, blah 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 blah. And they come back and we just stay silent. And then they leave and we continue talking. And yeah, so Michelle told me that she has a couple of surprises for me for tomorrow's film club festival. And I said I'm screening Cloud Busting in the big screen, and he's like, "Oh, that's great. That's part of one of my surprises." And when she said that, I could immediately figure out what that surprise is. Michelle's gonna bring her Hong Konger friend, her first generation Hong Konger friend, who is Jim Lau's daughter. Jim Lau, the actor in my short film Cloud Busting, who plays the old guy. Michelle's gonna bring her friend, right? Probably, which is cool. Good to know another Hong Konger, despite being a first generation. But that's cool. And it's so weird, Michelle, the way she last time I called her, she's like, "Oh, has people ever confessed to you before?" It's like, oh my god, did someone have a crush on me? That's not the case. But yeah, usually I'm really excited for shit like this, like the film club festival and everything. But honestly, given how much shit is going on, given how much shit is going on, I'm just like, yeah, I'm excited about it, but also it's like I don't care about it as much. Anyways, at some point I went to the auditorium to look at the list of short films being screened, and my short film is one of the ones nearest to the end, which is scary because usually people remember the ones that begin first. Yeah, it's also good it's near to the end because it means it's not bad. But I saw that Love and Death comes first before Cloud Busting, and I told Betsy to switch it because Cloud Busting is worse. And Betsy's like, okay, sure. And then I saw like Udav short, I saw Miles short on there, I saw Life of a Corsair on there, and Know Who Is Who, and I laughed at them. And again, Felipe's probably like, damn, this guy knows shit, this guy knows what's up. Like, yeah. And then at the same time, several people, I think Cassandra, the Latina, and Matilda, the Swedish girl, baked a chocolate cake, or more like a brownie, together at the end for the end of the shoot for the wrap, which is crazy. My Film 32 class never did something like that. And I tried it because I was extremely hungry. I also had some coffee. Mateusz brought some coffee from a Starbucks box. And yeah, the brownie was really freaking good. And then on top of that, they're filming a secret shot that nobody knows. Nobody in the class knows. Professor Antonio doesn't know, but Cliff, Lauren, Matilda, and a couple actors quickly filmed a couple more shots. And then on top of that, they're filming a comedy skit, like an extra comedy skit, where all the scenes in the semester sort of like collide, and it's like a crossover. What the fuck? That's so cool. My Film 32 never did something like that. And then at the end, like Cliff, Cassandra, Jade, the French, Chiara, the Italian, Simon, suspiciously in the back, and Harrison, the golden retriever, sat on the ground outside of the auditorium looking at Cliff's laptop where they're exporting videos into the laptop, and you're doing some LUT tests. And that took like a whole hour. So I was jumping back and forth between the auditorium and outside the auditorium. But at the end, I stood for a long time while Leslie was texting me some dumb shit. Leslie just randomly texted me, life equals shit. And it's just so funny. And they don't know that, I and Leslie are this close. But we won't be this close anymore very soon, so that's going to be fun. Yeah, at the end, I just couldn't wait any longer. I thought Cliff would leave first, and I wanted to leave with Cliff, but then Michelle and Betsy leave first. So I decided to run after them. So Michelle and Betsy are in their car. Betsy's driving. It's Betsy's car. I showed up beside Betsy outside her window, and they saw me and they were like, because I was that fucking scary. Betsy rolled down the windows and was like, puta madre. It was crazy. I'm that good of a scarer. I'm so good at scaring people. And I told them that there's still coffee in the cafe, and they're like, I know. And then I said, also, can I please get a ride? And Betsy's like, sure, come in. So that's that. Again, weird tension between me and Betsy. Not really tension, but like, again, Betsy underestimates me and talk a little shit about me behind my back. And I know how to deal with people like that too. But yeah, essentially there's that. So she dropped Michelle off, and then she dropped me off. She told me that apparently tomorrow for the Film Club Festival, Birkin, Zach, and Silali will show up because they're setting a Film 33 booth. So yeah, essentially, that's that. I hope to see the Indian professor tomorrow afternoon. Leslie probably won't show up, but if she randomly does, I won't be surprised because she's a very unpredictable person. It just sucks that the Thai fried rice is going to be the last lunch I'll ever have with Leslie. And the next time we really see each other, maybe on Monday or Tuesday, will be when I confess to her, and that is when everything will end. I would like to think that I came really close, I would like to think that I came really fucking close to actually getting her. Like really, like to the point where she patted my head. She didn't kiss me, we didn't hold hands, but she patted my hair. She gave me a head pat. It's so nice. It's so fucking nice. It's so nice. So nice. And also she grabbed me by the shirt, pulled me close. I think she's doing it to me because she knows that I'm aggressive and she's trying to play with me. Well, guess what? I'm playing with her too. Like, I feel like to a certain degree Leslie does things to me, or just that one instance of her pulling my shirt and being aggressive with me is like she knows I like aggressive girls, so she's trying to like, that's her way of flirting, is to be violent with me. And my way of flirting is just psychologically assault her. Like, it's so unhealthy, it's amazing, and yeah, it's just really cool. I really love her. God damn. This girl's amazing. This girl is fucking amazing. Like, and also the amount of like swagger and the amount of like prestige I will have if I do get her. Like, she's gonna be this mysterious Chinese girl, this mysterious Asian girl who just shows up out of nowhere, and she's everywhere, and she's famous, and she's powerful, and she's also like really mean and angry and edgy. And there's also this detective, Mr. Detective Mastermind. Wouldn't that be fucking great? But of course not. It won't be great because she will reject me and never speak to me again. But it is what it is. A couple more interesting occurrences. One is me talking to Kim Han-soo about like Korean stuff and talking to Justin about Cantonese stuff. Apparently he's from Anyang, which is near Seoul, so that's that. And Justin talked about how similar Cantonese is to Korean, is to Hakka, is to everything. Well, yeah, Asian languages are similar, so that's that. But yeah, apparently Pyeongshim is a Korean swear word. Another moment is later in the day after the rap. Ebony, who is a half black, half Chinese woman with a crane, said Andre, the Russian guy, has a limited mind, which is a bit of a roast. And I also joined in on the gossip later when Cliff and everyone else was on the ground. But yeah, and then later in the car with Betsy and Michelle, they talked about how bossy Ebony is. Apparently, Ebony is in a Media 46 class, and Betsy's a TA there. Also, in the same class, we have Franny, the Franny from Wednesday 32, who I also know because I know everyone, and Betsy knows everyone, and somehow everything's connected. So that's crazy. And apparently, Franny is also a huge drama queen and like talk shit about Betsy and Ebony. What? I don't know she's like that. And also, Diego randomly saw me in the cafe and was like, "Yo, Enoch, Ariel told me you went to the Death Grips concert too." And apparently, Diego and Tomas, the Argentinian, went to the Death Grips concert on May 17th. I haven't gone there. I'll go there a couple days later. But holy shit, another Death Grips fan. That's wild. Yes.